Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.94 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off 3.5%. Bitcoin holding 85,600 plus, Ethereum 2,300 plus, XRP $2.20 in the number 4 spot. We're off 3.6 on the 24. We're off 18.4% on the 7-day. Range of price between 216 and 229. Let's get into it. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us in the Freedom Zone now directly on YouTube. Click the join button right here underneath the video, or click the more button and look at all the incredible links of services that we have here. And don't forget about your ticket to XRP Las Vegas. Oh my gracious. All right, let's get into this. Oh boy, can we start here? My gosh, Charles. Charles came out yesterday at 3:45 strong out of the gate. He says, breaking, it's official. Crypto is in a bear market. All the major digital coins, including Bitcoin, down more than 20%. Interesting to note, no one seems to know exactly why. Charles, we're not you. We know why. The crypto winter of 2023 was sparked by the implosion of FTX. This is a bit different. We now have a favorable regulatory environment and no apparent scandal. We just had the Bybit scam. Jesus Christ. We do possibly have massive irrational exuberance that drove coin prices to all-time highs. One other thing, new SEC chair Paul Atkins might be a tougher regulator than he appears. He might believe selling digital coins to fund projects constitutes an unregistered security sale, which is bad news for Ripple and XRP, so stay tuned. Boy, there's so much wrong in that one comment. Jesus, Charles. Here's what the truth is. We're on the precipice of getting U.S. crypto legislation for the first time in human history and in this country's history. We are not in a crypto bear market by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, we just saw a huge problem with a scam and a leak that happened on, what was it, Bybit or whatever the hell it was. And there's a huge loss right there. That always causes a dip in the market. Then throw in the fact that the last 5 states to consider creating a strategic reserve with Bitcoin have rejected the notion. And Bitcoin dominance controls this market because it's a speculative market until we pass the legislation that gives us the ability to tap into the utility of the entire financial system. And then utility becomes the price driver for assets that can really solve a problem. Charles? Christ almighty. And by the way, XRP in and of itself is not a security. Judge Annalisa Torres, Charles. My God. Meanwhile, Texas Business and Commerce Committee passes strategic Bitcoin reserve bill and it advances to the Senate floor. Okay, things are heating up. Maybe this one will go through this time. And remember, don't sleep on the federal level. Strategic reserve there, and the new sovereign wealth fund as well. So hang out, ladies and gentlemen. There's more to come. And here is Standard Chartered talking about Bitcoin could hit 500,000. Take a listen.
What about the story last week about the hack? There is this story emerged that a hacker stole $1.5 billion worth of digital tokens in what researchers are calling the biggest crypto heist of all time. What impact has that had on the crypto market?
So it's come at a very bad time. So we already had the Solana meme coin story around Libera a couple of weeks ago, obviously risk assets coming lower, and then you had the Bybit hack too. So within the crypto ecosystem, what we need are traditional financial players like Standard Chartered, like BlackRock and others that have the ETFs now to really step in size. And it's institutions like ours that now offer custody businesses that are much more secure than some of the hacks that you mentioned just now. So as the industry becomes more institutionalized, it should be safer. We should get a lot less of these negative headlines. Hopefully we'll get some regulatory clarity in the US too, and that can see, again, a lot more traditional players entering the market. Probably that will see volatility come lower, and again, that should add to that medium-term top side potential, which for me is Bitcoin up to $200,000 this year and $500,000 before Trump leaves office.
Wow. There you have that. Well, somebody might want to tell old Charles about that one. And this is a reminder of what Standard Chartered CEO when he talks about XRP.
Like Switzerland and China all testing out the digital currencies. How are you gearing up for the disruption of money with central bank digital currencies? How will it change the way you and other banks operate in future?
Probably fundamentally. While we're not formally involved, no foreign banks are involved in the Chinese ECNY, I think we're as close to that as we can be to understand how that digital currency can be used for cross-border trade. Going back 5 years, we had digital currency underpinned trade finance and money settlement systems, and using as a medium of exchange, using things like Ripple's XRP, for example.
Oh boy, oh gassy boy, not gonna like that one. You know what I mean? U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had reportedly appointed Galaxy Digital's Tyler Williams as a digital asset blockchain policy advisor. Oh, Charlie, not going to like that. Chaz isn't going to like that one either, right? Chaz says we're in a crypto bear market now. It's over. Meanwhile, the treasurer is electing people to help from the digital asset world. Oh, boy. And the U.S. lawmakers in the House of Representatives have advanced a resolution to repeal the DeFi broker rule. You remember this. This is the one little rule they put in there and got completely wrong, and I believe they did it on purpose, requiring brokers to report digital asset transactions to the IRS. You know, this is why it's not only important to get legislation, but to get it right. Because they put this through, and then it caused more harm than it did good. Meanwhile, Ripple, XRP, and RLUSD is charging forward despite the recent XRP downturn, having aligned with the Digital Euro Association to spearhead central bank digital currencies. This goes hand in hand with what I have been saying all along. The logjam for crypto isn't a black swan, and that doesn't mean we won't see another black swan or two. The catalyst, I believe, to unleash crypto is the United States of America passing legislation and announcing their market infrastructure presence in the new digital on-chain economy. And yes, it will certainly help to have the case ended as well. But these things are paramount to unlock this market. There's no question about it. And I tell you, it speaks volumes to me that Ripple is working deeply with the Digital Euro Association in releasing their CBDC, knowing full well that is the second largest economy in conjunction with the United States of America. What do you think is going to happen? So is Ripple going to be working for the entire Europe and the 27 nations of the European Union and not the United States of America? And today, Bitwise head of research Ryan Rasmussen said 53% of wealth managers plan to allocate crypto in client accounts as they present the case for Bitcoin to over 350 wealth managers. Well, they could forget that because, Chaz said that there's a crypto bear market now. That's what he said. Chaz is becoming the new Jim Cramer, isn't he? Jesus. Meanwhile, Ondo Finance forms a partnership with MasterCard, and they already have one with Ripple too. And there's also in conjunction to bring UST bills onto the XRP ledger in conjunction with BlackRock's Biddle Fund. Heard of them, but Chad says we're in a crypto winter. This is in the Cassie Craddock, and if my memory serves me right, I think she's a big cricket player, and I don't mean just plays cricket. I mean, like super athlete at cricket, if this is the right person. I think Cassie is that person. And if so, congratulations to you. That's amazing too. Take a listen to what she says.
Of course, we predominantly service financial institutions. So from a custody perspective, our product market fit is very much in kind of your tier one banks. So we've got partners like HSBC that leverage our custody platform. But we do see, different audience sets. So on the Ripple X side, for example, we know that this kind of convergence of kind of more general, but Ripple is this institutional DeFi approach. And so, from a Ripple X perspective, which is really focused on driving the developer ecosystem around the XRP ledger, we're leaning into funding really interesting companies within that space.
So everybody from tier one to startups. Well, Chaz isn't going to like this. Neither Standard Chartered or Ripple, right? Because he believes that Paul Atkins is going to come in and say that this is a security now. Gee, Manetti. Let's listen to Swift. Elisa DiCaprio spoke on stablecoins and interoperability. This is a great clip. Take a listen here.
The question of interoperability is a little bit more tricky, right? Because what we're seeing with stablecoins is this explosion of new types of financial instruments, which is fantastic, but it also increases complexity enormously. Yeah. And so how do you simplify that so you make sure that there's still a stable flow, right? And you make sure that everybody can access this, because right now that is definitely not the case, right? You certainly have different sectors that are using it heavily and some sectors that are not using it at all, but that should be using it.
Listen to this.
So I think in terms of, we've focused a lot on financial fragmentation and how to reduce that. And it's not just a story about one company doing it. It has to be a collaborative effort. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we're doing is working very heavily on digital public infrastructure. And this
digital public infrastructure
is interesting because this is the idea that you have institutions and you have governments which traditionally have not built payment rails, right? Payment rails are often built by the private sector and sort of backed up by the public sector. And now we see the public sector saying, oh, there's all these things going on. We actually have to be involved in this. And you see this movement of national payment systems, of different regulations about AI and DLT and stablecoins. We've done a lot of POCs, kind of live trials, to understand where the different pressure points are and where the frictions are and how they can be addressed.
Yep. Absolutely. And to that I say, if you're listening to what she said about private companies are the one that build payment rails, companies like Ripple and Hedera are private companies that are building payment infrastructure for the financial system. These systems may become some of the most important public-private relationships the government will ever have. Systemic important financial market utilities, systemically important financial market infrastructure. XRP Ledger. Write it down. Any questions? Chaz? Any questions, Chaz? Mark Yusko even gets it.
And look, those founders have been buddying up to the administration and to Eric, and I think Eric's driving a lot of this, his son. So we'll see.
Mark Yusko can't stand it, so he's saying that the partners like from Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse and others are buddying up to the administration and getting favor, right? No, Mark, that's not it. What's happening is you're struggling between your own perception and reality. And the reality is that they're not buddying up to anybody. Their technology and their business model solves a problem for the U.S. government and the financial institutions of the world. Bitcoin doesn't.
But the case for the strategic Bitcoin reserve, because Bitcoin is digital gold, everything else has different roles. Something that could happen, I don't know if it'll happen the first 100 days, Abs, but there's some talk.
He's struggling.
This will make the XRP people really happy.
No, it won't make us happy because we've known it, Mark. It's just you that's getting clued in.
There is some talk that XRP could be utilized and or ordered to be used for a central bank digital currency or as the base layer for national banking.
He's struggling. But isn't that exactly what we heard here from Elisa DiCaprio from Swift? The public-private relationship? Well, of course it is. And today we see an expansion. Ripple is partnering with BDACS to expand institutional crypto custody in South Korea. You know, one of the largest markets for XRP. Remember when CoinMarketCap years ago took Korea's part of the market out of the equation for XRP so it would no longer be at the number 2 spot ahead of Ethereum? I remember that dirty trick too. BDASCS Korea will use Ripple custody to provide secure infrastructure for XRP, RLUSD, and other crypto assets supporting institutional adoption, XRP ledger developer growth, and Korea's evolving regulatory landscape. And we see that this is not a small deal. BDACS will utilize the Ripple custody, which provides institutional-grade custody software, infrastructure for crypto custodians, exchanges, OTC desks, and more to safely store, manage, and access digital assets while maintaining bank-grade security. The amount of custody or crypto assets custodied is expected to reach $16 trillion in the next 5 years. Custody. This isn't what's going on around the world. Custody. $16 trillion in the next 5 years inside of a car loan. Come on in. Monica Long, the president of Ripple, says this: South Korea is gearing up for a wave of institutional crypto adoption. Very excited for Ripple custody to plant another flag in APAC with the BDACS Korea for XRP and RLUSD. The importance for secure institutional-grade custody technology can't be overstated, especially as enterprises prepare for an influx of crypto interest. That's what's happening today. That's your news. And here's Egg Rag Crypto giving us the megaphone pattern. This is the journey we've been on, ladies and gentlemen. And this, I believe, is where we're going. Not financial advice from me, him, or anyone else. But together we rise. Do you comprehend? Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.